Welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at Kyler Murray and going over whether or not I think he can win MVP in the upcoming 2021 season. But before getting to that topic, just a quick question for those of viewing. I want to hear from the Cardinals fans out there. Who do you think will win a Super Bowl ring first, Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson, the two most mobile quarterbacks in the league, at least to me? Between those two, who will win a ring first? Or your answer could be that neither of them will ever win a ring, whatever your answer is. Comment down below and I'll reveal my answer at the end. But getting straight into it, looking at Kyler Murray, at some point last year in 2020, the Cardinals started 2-0. They were at one point 5-2. They at one point beat the Seahawks head to head. Kyler Murray was being talked at as a dark horse MVP candidate. Was he ever the front runner? Was he ever in a serious conversation to take home that trophy and award? I don't believe so, but he came up on the topic. He was a dark horse MVP, and that to me is at least some acknowledgement. Of course, if you don't win it all, it doesn't mean anything, but it at least shows he's on the right track to go to the next level. I think in year 3, we could seriously see him take a big jump like Josh Allen did, going from kind of a guy that takes his team to the playoffs, gives his team hope, but now all of a sudden it's going to that next level where he is really changing this team and changing this franchise and is in serious MVP conversations. And I know Josh Allen's and Kyler Murray's year 2s aren't the exact comparison, but I just feel like in that sense we can see Kyler Murray take a big jump like Josh Allen did from his sophomore year into his third year. And of course, Kyler Murray's not going to do it on his own. While he's got the legs, while he's got the arm, he's going to need the help around him. Really, I think a lot of it is we know how good D-Hop is, how good he can make Kyler Murray look, let alone anyone look. But outside of that, how is his coach going to do? How is Cliff Kingsbury going to do? Is he going to be able to get the absolute most out of Kyler Murray? And that's a question I don't know. Being in a division in the NFC West, Cliff Kingsbury really is not up to par with some of the guys like the innovative offensive minds in Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, or the very historical and respected Pete Carroll. Cliff Kingsbury is just not in that class of top coaches in the league, unfortunately, and that could be a thing that seriously holds Kyler Murray back. I'm not saying it will, but it is a factor to at least consider. But still, outside of that, he has the offensive weapons to rely on. D-Hop, as you know. I like the pickup of AJ Green, a guy that's really just waiting to turn his career around. I don't think he's played like a serious full season since 2018, which has been some time. But I think on a brand new team, looking to turn it around where he doesn't have to be the number one guy, the number one weapon that a franchise relies on. He's got D-Hop to bring over the attention and allows him to win some one-on-one matchups and create some separation and some open fields. We could see AJ Green turn around. Do I think he's going to be a top 5 receiver again? No. But do I think he could be a top 20 receiver? Can he get back to that range? I don't think it's impossible. And if you got an MVP quarterback, he's definitely going to help you out. Along with him, you got Christian Kirk, pretty good slot receiver. He's inconsistent at times, but he has some big plays, and that's going to make Kyler Murray look good. Elijah Moore, don't know really what to expect out of the rookie, but I think he's got a lot of upside, so that is that. Again, I don't want to act like I know nothing about him, but I just haven't seen a lot of NFL skills, and him being a second, third, I believe he was a second rounder. I don't want to put so much faith in him. He might not be in the starting roster. I feel like the starting roster is going to be D-Hop, AJ Green, and Christian Kirk, and Elijah Moore might get the starts in some rotations, but we'll just have to see how he really pans out, how much of this offense is going to be ran through him. We know most of it's going to be ran through D-Hop through the air and Kyler Murray on the ground. Another thing that could hold him back on the, kind of pair him up with Cliff Kingsbury is that he doesn't have a run game to rely on. Chase Edmonds and James Conner, I'm not the most satisfied with them in the backfield, and you have a decent run game because of Kyler Murray. He's going to put up 800 rushing yards by himself, but I'm just saying in this fact of having a running back to, take the pressure off of Kyler Murray, give him some rest, get him out of some third and long situations. Too much is going to be on his shoulders and back most games, and that can help his stats, actually. If they have to be a offense that is very centric through the air, that could help make Kyler Murray look good. Or even if it can't go through the air, if he's got to be the guy to make the play on the ground and run the ball, it might help his numbers. But I'm just saying, time to time, it could hold him back. If Kyler Murray's just having a bad game or a bad drive, a bad series, whatever it is, and he just needs a guy to really carry it down to get his head straight, I feel like Kyler Murray doesn't have that running back to rely on. I'm not trying to say Chase Edmonds and James Conner are worthless, but you guys know what I mean. They do lack a run game or a dominant back in the backfield. So between that, Cliff Kingsbury, I do think those things could potentially hold him back. But again, being a dark horse candidate last year to an extent, I think he's only going to get better and be more into the conversation this year as long as they could keep their head straight and keep their record up. One other thing, again, I'm not trying to be negative Nancy here, but most times we do see MVP lead their team to the number one seed in their conference. For reference, Aaron Rodgers last year led the Packers to the number one seed. The year before that, Lamar Jackson led his team to the number one seed. The year before that, Patrick Mahomes led the Chiefs to the number one seed. It's not a requirement, but it is definitely a bonus that definitely kind of sets up the resume and accolades you need to win the MVP case. Again, it's not required, but it's definitely helps. And I don't know if Kyler Murray is going to be capable of even coming close to the number one seed in the conference, let alone winning that division. Just, with the Matt Stafford Rams trade, Seahawks, Russell Wilson's always going to be competitive, and the Niners being healthy. I don't even know if the Cardinals can make it out of there. So there are things against Kyler Murray, and while I think he can make a huge jump in year 3 like Josh Allen and be the MVP conversation, I would say no, he doesn't win it. Can he win it? Of course. Technically, anyone can win it. Jared Goff can win MVP, but as far as will he, I would have to say no if I was forced to put my own money on the line. I just don't see this team getting the number one seed. I don't see this team winning the division. Do I see them making the playoffs? Do I see them being a pretty good team that we respect moving forward, and Kyler Murray becomes the face and future of this franchise 100%? Does he enter the MVP conversation? Very possibly. But when it comes to actually winning it all and taking home the trophy, I think he's possibly 1 year away, or let's put it this way, this team might be 1 year away to really just work out the last kinks they got. Maybe one more offseason of finding the right coach, one more offseason of finding the right running back, one more offseason of finding an extra corner. Just these little minor things that aren't drastic holes on this team, but holes that could hold this team back from winning a division or winning a Super Bowl. Does it hold them back from being competitive and being serious and winning games? No, but winning the big prize, all the big achievements, I don't think this Cardinals team and Kyler Murray are ready yet. We'll have to see, though. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe this entire Cardinals team will prove me wrong. Maybe they'll go 17-0, win the Super Bowl, win the MVP. I don't know, but just my opinion. I like the Cardinals this year to be competitive. I like them to make a playoff push, but I don't like them to win the prize, and I don't like Kyler Murray to actually bring home the MVP award. Not just yet. For now, he's going to settle with a big jump, which is, I'd take that at this point. A guy to take even to progress even more. That's a good point to at least work with, but I don't think it's going to do it all. I do want to hear from you guys, though. Do you agree or disagree with me that Kyler Murray can do it? But I just don't think this Cardinals team is good enough to really give him that type of boost where they win the conference, and I don't think he's going to be ready enough yet to just top Aaron Rodgers, top Tom Brady, top Russell Wilson, top Matt Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. I just don't see that happening this year just yet, but I do want to hear your guys' opinions like I just said. And referring back to the question today, who do I think will get the ring first? To be honest, I might answer neither of them will get a ring. But if I was forced to pick, I do think Lamar will win first. I just think the Ravens are really close. I think the Ravens could win this very year, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think if the Cardinals won this year, I'd be absolutely shocked. And just based off that shock factor of who I would more likely not be surprised to see win, I think the Ravens and Lamar are close to a ring for sure. And Lamar's went out there and won an MVP. Lamar's went out there and led his team to the first inning of the conference, and I just feel like they're really close and really ready. Cardinals, I like them in the future, but in the short term, I just think the Ravens are closer. As always, and of course, so guys, thank you for watching. 2-minute warning.